Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. We're actually on location with the Oxford Academy here in Westbrook, and with me to discuss what's going on with the Oxford Academy is Phil, who is the head of schools.
Yeah.
Sir.
Nice to meet you.
Hey,
Thank you
nice
for
to
having
meet
me on the show.
Nice to meet you. We've emailed, we've talked, but we haven't met yet until tonight. So thanks for inviting Emily and I to come down and hang out and talk about the school for a while.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on the campus.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for letting us come down. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
So I'm born and raised in Connecticut.
Okay.
My whole life I grew up in Waterbury, Connecticut, and kind of went the typical, I would say, day school route, elementary school, K through 8, and then Holy Cross High School after that, and went to UConn.
Oh, there you go.
After that, go Huskies. And then after that, I got my master's at University of New Haven. So from start to finish, I have spent most of my time in Connecticut. And then I moved here in '98, was a residential social studies teacher and basketball coach. And I have done everything from teaching, coaching, residential life. I became head of school in 2010 and have been in that role ever since.
Now, what exactly do you do as head of schools?
So typically I'm involved in all facets of Oxford, as far as academic programming, residential life, planning for the future of the school, working with faculty and staff and their endeavors, working with the students and their families, fundraising, doing projects, and then if that wasn't busy enough, I do a fair amount of volunteerism in the town of Westbrook. I'm on a couple of boards, which I enjoy, participating in the local community and giving back as much as we can.
Now, tell us a little bit about the history of Oxford.
Sure. So Oxford was founded by Dr. Joseph Weiberg in 1906 in Manhattan, New York. And it was there for a number of years. And Dr. Weiberg basically believed in the philosophy of know thyself, and Oxford University's focus on the fact that everyone learns differently and that there's a way to teach every person individually so that they can be excited and interested in their academics. And so he founded the school, and it was in Manhattan for a number of years. It moved to Pleasantville, New Jersey in 1934, and was there up until 1971, and then the school moved here in 1973. During all those years, it was a for-profit school. It became a nonprofit in 1986. And then the school has basically been here ever since. 13 acres in beautiful shoreline, Westbrook, Connecticut. It's a wonderful place to live. I live on campus with my wife, and I have two sons who are all 14-year-old twins who actually go to Westbrook Public School, the high school. They are very happy. They've had a great educational system in Daisy Elementary and the middle school, and now it's hard to believe I have high schoolers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's it like living on campus? There's no commute. All you got to do is get up, get dressed, and...
Yeah, it is. It is actually amazing. It saves on gas, for sure. So there's 11 of us that live on campus, and we live, there's dormitories, there's also houses. I happen to live on a house on Salt Island with my family, and it's great. I get to walk to work. To come talk to you, I literally took me 2 minutes to walk across campus and find you. It is an extended family, so even during vacations, like we're going to go on a Thanksgiving break on Thursday, folks still get together. My kids have lived on campus their entire lives, so they get to be around the Oxford boys, teachers, and their families. It's actually incredibly rewarding for them and for me to be able to offer that.
And you just said the magic word. You guys are boys only.
We are boys only during the regular school year. We have a co-ed summer program, which is only about maybe 6 or 7 years old. But yeah, from when the school was founded throughout its entire history, it's been boys only.
And that was obviously the decision of the people who founded the academy. Yes,
they really believed in allowing boys to focus on themselves, and not necessarily have the pressures of navigating some of those scenarios that come with having girls on campus. But again, living in Westbrook, there are girls everywhere on staff, and so they get the best of both worlds. They're able to focus on themselves and that camaraderie with boys, but they also can have relationships, and especially with technology these days, they're able to stay connected.
Exactly. So you do have female staff members?
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's actually, it might even be almost an even split.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. Now, what's a typical day academically like?
So there's two schedules. There's like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule where the boys have we have morning announcements as a community at 7:50. There's optional breakfast every morning, which a lot of faculty, staff, and kids go to because even breakfast is individualized at Oxford. So if you walk in the dining hall and you go up to Chef Dave and you say, hey, I want a bacon, egg, and cheese on an English muffin or French toast or pancakes or an omelet, he will make it to order.
Okay.
So we are all very spoiled by having him here. And so that's kind of how we hope you start your day. And then after breakfast, you come in for morning meeting. And at that point, you have classes for about 20 minutes, and then you have 45 minutes to an hour in between your classes. So like, let's say, you had English at 8:30, then maybe like, 9, 10 or so, you might have like math, and then that's how your day would go. You have a break in the dining hall for like snacks and coffee and juices and things like that at about 10:30. There's 2 lunches, one at 12 and one at 12:40, so depending on which one you had there. And then the academic day ends at 3 o'clock.
All right.
And at that point, the boys go back to their rooms, they change because they have athletics. So we have varsity basketball, varsity soccer, varsity tennis. We also do airsoft, we do kayaking, hiking, paddleboarding, fishing, whatever we can get the kids doing for about 45 minutes to an hour, Monday through Friday.
Wow.
And then they have free time in between that and some other things. And then we have dinner, which actually the boys will be going up to the dining hall momentarily to have a community meal.
Okay.
And then after that, they have free time again, and they have an evening study hall from 8:30 to 9:30. And then there's like check-ins and things like that. They have to be in their dorm rooms by 10, and 10:30 is lights out during the week. And then the Tuesday, Thursday schedule is a little bit different.
Okay.
It's a later start. They don't have to be in morning announcements till 9:20. Which is a great way for them to catch up on sleep.
Yes.
Teenagers in general, but teenage boys don't get enough sleep. So we have a later school day, which everyone loves. And then it ends at 2:15, and they go with their advisors to talk about how their academics are going, what school trips might be coming up that they may be interested in. And then it reverts back to like athletics and dinner and so on and so forth. And then the weekends there's assessments on Saturday mornings. And then there's all kinds of trips and activities. So like I know this past weekend, they did paintball in Waterbury, the area where I grew up, movies. Back in the day, it used to be mall trips, but those are kind of few and far between now.
Mall trips
Yeah.
fading.
So they do a lot of like, restaurants, concert shows, athletic events. I think on Sunday they watch a bunch of football with like, wings and whatnot. And they played Manhunt on campus. So whatever we can do to keep them busy.
Manhunt.
Yeah. Basically like hide and seek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You're a very well-rounded school.
Yeah, we're a small population. 42 boys is max, so we're a small, probably one of the smallest schools in the United States.
Wow.
And we're that way purposely so that we can offer our one-to-one academics, which is why boys come here, so that they can have different teachers in different subjects who understand them, can appreciate them and how they learn. Oxford's philosophy is know thyself. We firmly believe that everyone learns differently.
Right.
So as we sit here, you learn differently than I do, and that's what we celebrate. And we want to encourage the boys to, take pride in their work, but also, self-advocate and discover what things that they need to do to be successful, not just in the classroom, but in life.
Right, exactly. It seems like a very well-rounded program.
Yeah, we try to be.
And every day's not the same.
Every day, I mean, there's definitely a lot of structure and support. But yeah, when you, as a teacher, you never know what you're going to be teaching that day. Something might happen in the world that young man is interested in exploring, and it's our job as teachers to help him, figure it out.
Now, you being an administrator, do you ever teach every once in a while?
I used to. The last class I taught was AP Government back in like 2000, maybe 18 or 19.
Oh, good. Oh, fun.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think AP Government would be exciting, but I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And it was enjoyable. But I also travel for Oxford, recruiting and
Oh, yeah.
fundraising and meeting with alums. So there's no substitute teachers here. So
No.
when a teacher isn't here, the class doesn't continue. So that's a little unfair to the students. So I don't teach as much as I used to, which I do miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now with the teacher-student ratio, if the teacher doesn't show up, then it's like class is canceled.
Yeah, I mean, so typically when our teachers have to miss for maybe one thing or another, they'll talk to their departments, and so those students can go into that classroom and still work on their subject matter. They can check in with another teacher in that department, or sometimes the deans might cover that class or whatnot, or we'll check in with them to make sure that they're still moving forward with their schoolwork. But yeah, we don't have that traditional model where a substitute teacher comes in.
And now, as far as the school year goes, you guys basically do you follow the town schedule or?
Similar. So our students come back to school after Labor Day. So I know the Westbrook Public Schools are certainly a little bit before that.
Right.
And then our year ends usually the first weekend in June or the last weekend in May, depending on how the calendar falls.
Right.
And then we have about 3 weeks off, and then we have our summer program, which is co-ed. Our vacations tend to be longer, I would say, than the public schools, mostly because many of our students don't live locally.
No.
So for them to go home for a couple days doesn't really make sense. Like, for example, Thursday we go on our Thanksgiving break, and that's a 10-day vacation. They'll get another, 2.5 weeks off in December, 10 days off in February, and then 2.5 weeks off in April. And that's, to allow the boys, especially who live overseas,
Right.
to have actually a time with their families and be able to enjoy it.
Now you have students from all across the country, correct?
Yeah. So all over the U.S. We do have kids who come from, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, but California, Florida, and then 30% of our boys come from outside the U.S., and that's all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. We celebrate a lot of different cultures, ethnicities. We want to celebrate the fact that everyone, sometimes sounds different, looks different, has different interests.
Right.
That's to be shared and celebrated, and find common bonds with each other in spite of the facts that we may have grown up in a different environment or a different culture.
Well, let's talk about some accomplishments that you guys have had here at the Academy.
Well, we're proud of a lot of things. So in my 27 years here at the school, which is crazy to say, but I've been here a long time, we have done a lot of facility improvements. So like this office that we're in right now was redone a couple of years ago, classrooms, the student center where we were earlier, where we host some fundraising events, actually one for the town, which we're very proud of. Light on Westbrook is a great cause. That building was done during COVID, which was not easy to do, but we got through it, thankfully. We've gone solar here at the school, which I'm very proud of. We really try to teach the boys about sustainability and the environment. So there's a solar array on our gymnasium, which basically offsets the power for this entire building, which is great.
That's cool.
We also we have a community garden where the boys and faculty and staff will do community plantings and whatnot. We have maple trees on campus, so we make our own maple syrup throughout the course of the wintertime. We have bees on campus. We make our own honey. We are a DEEP approved trout release program, so we help raise trout for DEEP, and we actually place them in different waterways and rivers. We do a lot of volunteerism. We let the town use our facilities as much as we can, do that so that they can have access to, the gym or soccer field. So we we try to have a good relationship with the people in town, and we find that that is well received, and we're proud to be here and very lucky and fortunate to be in Westbrook.
Now, you said when we were talking about events, you guys have a big event in, I believe it's March of next year?
Yes, so March 21st, we do something called Light on Westbrook. And I can't remember how many years we've been doing it, but I think it's probably at least 10, 12 years we've been having this event. And basically, it is a photography exhibition where both, it's professionally judged and people from the local area or even along the shoreline submit artwork. And there are various prizes that are donated by local businesses as well. All the proceeds go towards sustaining kids during the summer months when perhaps their meals are not as consistent. And so we typically like to hopefully raise a couple $1,000s in one night, which is fantastic, and help those in our community who need it.
And obviously that event is here on campus.
It is here at Oxford Academy on campus in our Stone Family Student Center.
Which we were in before.
Which was where we were in before, yeah. That very, very nice looking timber frame structure that smells like wood, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's a fun event.
It is, and that's every year?
Every year, yeah, yeah.
Now, let's talk about some goals that you have for the upcoming year.
Sure. Yeah, well, the year is flying by, which is absolutely incredible. I actually don't believe we're going on vacation on Thursday, but we are. I'm sure the kids are very much excited about it.
The kids are excited.
They are. So yeah, we're always looking to, we're a school that offers rolling admissions.
Wow.
So what that means is that students are placed in Oxford at different times throughout the year. So we are always looking for great young men who want to be a part of the school community and eventually graduate and go on to college, universities. That's, I think we're always in that mindset, always trying to recruit and bring boys into the community. We just celebrated our Coastal Prep Soccer League championship, which we were very proud of. The boys did an amazing job and won that trophy. Now we're shifting over to basketball, and we'll see how that goes. We do a lot of fundraising efforts here during the holidays, especially for we work with Westbrook Youth and Family Services to support local families. So I think those are kind of like the top of mind things that we're looking forward to ultimately trying to make a difference beyond just our campus and do something for those around us.
Exactly. And as far as moving forward goes, where do we see ourselves moving forward?
Well, we have some pretty significant projects that we want to do on the campus.
Okay.
We are looking to build a new music studio where we currently have a number of boys who like to play music and make music. And we've had some good relationships with some local music teachers, but we want to kind of elevate that program and bring a teacher onto the campus in a new space where the kids can take lessons and kind of have a traditional music experience. We're going to be redoing this building, also adding in some new offices, a new facade, creating a health and wellness center for the students, which we think is important. We have plans to redo the gymnasium and then also redo the soccer field with a turf field that will hopefully be, in our near future. Yeah. We'll see. Turf is not inexpensive, so we've got our work cut out for us. But hopefully we'll get there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, turf is not cheap.
No, none of these projects are inexpensive. No, but you know what? We're very lucky. Our entire school is debt free, so everything that we do here is 100% fundraising, and that's a testament to our alumni and the families that are with us or have been with us because they have a transformational experience. Their sons many times changed their lives, and they're very appreciative of that, and they support the school and its mission and ideally want to leave it as a better place than where they were when they were here. So that's a great mindset, and we're very fortunate that way.
Now, as far as enrollment goes, how do you handle enrollment if somebody's interested in joining the academy?
Yeah, that's a great question. We actually had a young man interview today who was coming from New York. And so essentially folks hear about us through word of mouth, or in the educational realm, they know us through educational consultants who work with us.
Oh.
And so they will reach out to the admissions office and say, hey, I'd like this young man to be considered. Or if it's, in this case, the dad called the admissions office and said, hey, my son is currently, looking for a more unique educational experience, and you guys were highly recommended. So we asked them to send over his information, and we looked at it, and then we thought that he would be a good fit. He came to the campus. He interviewed with myself, actually Zach as well, some of the other teachers. He met some of the boys. Usually takes maybe an hour to 2 hours, depending on how many questions they have. They get to meet all those folks, get a tour of the campus, and then they basically, after that, they leave, and then we get together as a committee to decide if we think that they're a good fit. And then if they are, we offer them an acceptance, and then we talk about when that start date is, which could be for us with rolling admissions, could be a couple days, couple weeks, or even next year if that's where they want to be.
And if they start next year, they go basically January till the end of the school year?
So for us, it would be the traditional timeline would be a September start and go through the end of May.
Gotcha. So September next year.
Yeah. But we had a boy who just started with us last week. I know we have a couple boys that are going to be starting with us in January, one in December. The rolling admissions, you never know what it's going to, bring to the table. So as long as we have space, we entertain it.
Exactly. Now, as far as dress code goes for the students, regular casual attire, or are you in uniform?
There's a school uniform, similar to what I have on, I would say. You don't have to wear a tie, but we have a lot of Oxford gear that the boys will typically wear. When I first started here, it was jacket and tie every single day.
No.
For the boys, and for the teachers, and that was not very popular. It was a tradition.
Oh no.
And the boys actually, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 years ago, the students got together and proposed a uniform change, which was to get away from the jacket and tie into something like this, because they said it would be more consistent with school pride to have our attire with our logos and things like that. So we actually discussed it as an administration. We gave it a shot, and that was instituted several years ago, and it's been actually a nice change. Definitely more comfortable. So kind of what I'm wearing now without the tie would be our dress code.
Exactly. Now, how many administrators are on staff?
So there are myself as head of school. There is the dean of students, the dean of studies, the director of admissions, and the dean of faculty. Those are our main administrators.
Okay, and who are they?
So Zach Hayden, who you're going to talk to, I think after me, is our dean of faculty. All right. Jude Maragliano is our dean of studies. Matt Lasota is our dean of students, and Helen Waldron is our director of admissions.
Wow.
Yeah, and so Matt also lives on campus. I live on campus. Zach used to live on campus. He lives in town in Westbrook. And Jude also used to live on campus. He lives in Killingworth. And Helen has the farthest commute. She's in Litchfield, which is pretty far. So she does some days on campus, some days remote.
I'm going to say Litchfield to Westbrook every day? No.
Yeah, no. Not good on gas.
No.
So she was here today. I think she'll be here tomorrow, but she also does a ton of travel, recruiting all over the U.S. Our associate director of admissions, Jessica Forrest, was just recruiting students in Portugal. So we are all over the U.S. and all over the world.
And now for you recruiting students, where's the farthest you've gone?
Personally, I spent about 4 weeks on an Asia tour back in, I want to say 2009. I was in Tokyo, I was in Beijing, Shanghai, Taipei, and a few other spots. But that was, for me, that was the farthest I've traveled.
How was that?
Very tiring. It was an amazing experience. I absolutely loved going to those countries and celebrating their culture. I was treated extremely well, and I hope to go back. But yeah, it was a lot of travel, and being on a plane for 16 hours is one of my least favorite things I think I've ever done.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a 16 hours on a plane. That doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, no, it wasn't enjoyable, but it was necessary and it was worth it.
Right. For sure. Now, if people want to get more information on how to potentially become a member of the Oxford family, how can they go by?
Yeah, they can call. Our main school number is 860-399-6247. Okay. Or they can go on our website, which is www.oxfordacademy.net, and they can reach out to any one of the administrators or whoever they're looking for.
And obviously all the contact information for everybody is there and readily available.
Absolutely, yep. They can find whoever they're looking for.
They can even find you.
They can. There's much more interesting people that they would probably rather talk to, but if they want to find me, yeah, I'm easily to get a hold of.
And they can find Zach.
They can find Zach, yeah, absolutely.
Well, Phil from the Oxford Academy, I want to thank you for some time. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward to having you come back.
You got it. On behalf of Phil, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks. Good night. We'll see you next week.